Yeah. All right, guys. How are you? So this will be posting on Thursday. I am going to be recording earlier than that, of course, like I always do. But I do hope you guys have had a phenomenal week. I know that it's hard, the week after a holiday or you've had a long week or a weekend and you just, for me, it was my fuel. I'm like, yes, I only have 2 days this week. Let's knock it out and let's do it. And what a blessing. 2 days. So I had 3 days off. I worked 2 days, and now I'm going to have some time off, my normal days off. So, yay. I'm okay with it. I'm glad about it. Let's do it. I hope you guys have had a phenomenal week. And I just want to start off by, talking about what I said last week about putting your foot forward. I was talking to my brother last weekend, and he's like, I'm just not scared because I know whatever I need I can get. I can get that. He has control of that. And that was so fulfilling for me. But yet it was such a mindset because William's always telling me, how do you sound positive? How do you stay so positive? How positive? How positive? How can you do it? And I know it's because the support system I had when I was younger was those who fed that instillment in me. What I want, I can get. Can I get everything tomorrow? Maybe not. But if I really want it, that want and desire is going to last more than tomorrow, right? So with time, if I work and do what I need to do, then it will be there and it will happen. And kind of like I've said in every video, and I'll say it now, I am not an LPC. I'm not a counselor. I'm not licensed to be a counselor. However, I am a LPC candidate. I am working on getting my hours completed so that I can test and get licensed on my own, which, hooray that day. Now, I had 479 hours when I started, okay? Let's knock 150 off of that because that's already what I've gotten in since I've been back to work. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. People are like, why did you go back to that job? Why? Because it's doing what I love to do, A, and B, I can make that happen. If I take that job and go back and do what I know to do, I'll get those hours and I can move forward. Ding. Plus I do love the people I work with. I love my clients. I get to work with kids. My client base is, the 18 and under group. I love that group. They're probably some of the most difficult that I work with. But I love it. Like, there's nothing that I would change. I've worked with adults, and that might be part of this motivation of this series, like motivation. Because I have found that it is easier to feed the motivation and encouragement and see the change in littles versus people that are already set in their ways. Not that their ways are bad, they just have more challenges because they're not willing to pursue a different avenue. So I enjoy working with littles. Sometimes I have them 2 days, sometimes I have them 10 days, sometimes I have them 30 days, sometimes I have them 60 days, okay? And in creating a change, even if it's as little as when they walk in the door, the first thing they say is, F you, Miss Diane. By the time they leave, as long as they're not saying F you, Miss Diane, and they're like, hi, Miss Diane, how are you? I've gained something. Because they're not angry. They're not feeling scared. They're motivated to have more than the F you feeling, that anger, that frustration. So even the littlest, tiniest bit is change, and it motivates me. It motivates me, I had one kid that came in probably a year ago. 2 years ago, because I was off last year. So 2 years ago, one kid came in and he was like, I'm leaving, I'm not staying here, I'm not going to do it. And we do this intake, and this packet's huge, and I'm just talking to him. I'm like, so why do you want to leave? Like, what is there out there for you? Like, please tell me. I mean, there's no food, there's no, or guaranteed food, there's no guaranteed water or showers or guaranteed shelter. Like, tell me what's out there. And he stopped and he stopped. And I said, but I can tell you what's here. Tonight, before you go to bed, you can take a warm shower and you'll have a warm meal and you'll have a snack. And there will be peers here and you can do whatever you need to do within reason to have a good evening. And at the end of the night, you can lay your bed down or your head down on your bed and you can say, I have a bed to sleep in. And so I would only hope that I can encourage you to find motivation to find positive in your stay here. And he looked at me and he's like, and I rolled his eyes and snarkied his mouth. And so we're sitting there, continue talking. We're filling out his paperwork. And by the end of the conversation, he was smiling. He looked at me and he's like, can I just go home with you? And I'm like, oh, no, no, no. I said, remember all those behaviors we talked about just a few minutes ago? Those behaviors have got to change in order for somebody to allow you in their home. Like, our homes are our special spot, and we need safety, and we need to be able to love and support and encourage each other and not hurt each other. And he looked at me, and in that moment, with that kid, it resonated. It motivated him to see what I was talking about. Like, what's she talking about? So I can't go to her house because of my behaviors? So, the next day I leave that night and he goes to sleep and no problems. I even call up there and check on him. He's good. So the next morning I go in and I'm like, hey, how you doing? He's like, crying. I said, are you okay? He's like, yeah, I'm good. And I'm like, well, okay, you want to talk? He's like, yeah, I do. I was like, great, we need to do your paperwork. And he's like, there's more? And I'm like, yeah, there's a lot more. So we go in my office and he's kind of teary and we're talking. I'm like, so what's going on? He's like, do you think I can really change? And it was sad because with every being an ounce that I have of me, I think anybody can change if they want to change. They just got to know what they want. They got to know that they want that change. They got to be motivated. They have to have that hunger for it. They have to have that passion for it. So here I am. I'm like, definitely. Like, you got to figure out what your goal is. And in that moment, he was able to stop and just be himself and be scared and vulnerable for a minute to really stop and think about it. And here we have this 16-year-old kid that had no idea what was going to happen to him and ready to go AWOL yesterday, that's motivated to think about what he wants differently. All in a matter of, 12 hours. Why? Because I'm pretty contagious sometimes. Really, I am. Now, if you're having a bad day and cussing and screaming, probably not going to hang around too much, but when I walk by you, I'm going to be like, your hair looks nice. Wow. Is that a smile I see? I just constantly engage myself so that they know that I'm there for them. And within time, it's nice to be able to see that change happening, to see that creation of thought processes of what do I want to continue, and that motivation to grow from where he was. I think he was there with us for about 26 days, and the situation that he was in was horrible, and I was able to, engage with him, engage with his worker. We talked a lot and we did a lot. And by the end of the visit, he was going to the place that he had a goal to go to. And he had goals and he had ways to reach the goals. And he had some positive tools in his bucket. And I knew when he left, he had started what he needed to go out there and explore the world and get to what he wants. So that is probably why I work with kids more than adults, because I'd be like, knock, knock, hello. And they look at me and I'm like, so what do you want? I don't know. What excites you in life? Oh, I want this and this and this and this. So what are you doing? Oh, nothing. Oh, okay. So what if you did something? Oof, that would be hard. Yeah, it's hard. But that's probably where that difference is, because it takes more convincing of adults, believe it or not. It takes more getting them to believe that they can than it does for kids that haven't experienced all of life or much of life, but so much of life, you know? There's just a different feeling here. Don't get me wrong, I have adult clients that I've worked with that I love and that I never ever would take those back. But I feel that the passion for me, the motivation for me to do what I need to do or want to do in life comes from working with younger clients. Um, and it's easier to give them tools because guess what? They've probably, like, I can tell you, probably 75% of my clients have lived, I'm actually going to go higher than that. Let's say 89 to 95% of my clients have lived a harder life than I've ever thought of. And they're there, like, they wake up in the morning and they live for the day, and their motivation, like, they're just motivated to find the next best thing, and they're motivated to do what they want to do, get to where they want to do, because they don't want the same thing in 15 years. They don't want their kids to ever have to go through that. They are very aware of their surroundings and what's going on. So I think that's why I work more with littles, and I do work with littles, the part of, our human services, kids, and it's hard. They've had a hard life, but I get to be part of that. It's not easy. It's very, very hard. Mentally challenging, check. Exhausting, check. Physically, I mean, they can be aggressive, check. But rewarding is definitely what I feel. And it motivates me and fuels me to continue doing what I'm doing for as long as I can. And it motivates me to finish my supervision so that I can get out there on my own and see what kind of difference I can do, or whatever the avenues I can make and where I can change from there. So, yeah. That's more about me, I guess. This is more of a me video, but it just lets, it's going into that whole motivation thing again, and that 1 foot forward, and just keep taking steps, guys. Because as long as you're moving, you have a chance in life to make a change. You have a chance to reach your goal. You have a chance to be where you want to be. As long as you are moving, as long as your body is up and moving and able, you can create whatever you want to create. Whether it's a business, or it's a relationship, or it's weight loss, or it's a YouTube channel, whatever it is, you have that opportunity. So feel blessed about that. Be, just positive thinking with that. And with that, I'm going to sign off. I'm going to take some time this weekend and work on my, getting my other channel up. Again, I will let you guys know when I'm doing that, because I feel like if you're listening to this, you may want encouragement or just to hear other parts that are, of life that I want to talk about. So that will be coming shortly again. And for now, I just want to thank you guys for your time. Please remember to like, share, subscribe, and hit that bell for future notifications. Until next time. Bye, guys. Have a great day. 'Cause when you let me, baby, don't you see?